This is the Upper Tier, brought to you by the Dynamo Podcast Network. And tonight we're going to do a special show where we're going to do a preview of Liverpool versus Man City coming up this Sunday, 4:30. And joining me tonight for this preview is, again, the OGs of the channel, Craig Byrne and DJ Keno. Keane, how are you doing?
How are you getting on, Niall? How are you? Thanks for having me on, man.
Brilliant to have you on again.
Pleasure.
Craig, how are you doing, man?
Very good, Niall. Thanks again for having us back on. It's great to be back on again.
Doesn't feel great after last night, though. It's still stinging.
It's still stinging. It's like a bit of a rash, you know.
But... yeah. Well, just to get some of the admin out of the way, you can catch us over on our YouTube channel, the Dynamo Podcast Network. Go over there, hit subscribe, and hit that bell notification for all the latest content. We're also on Spotify and we're also on Anchor if you prefer the audio. In case you're doing some of your pandemic exercise or you're going walking, you can catch us just on audio as well if you're looking for that. So we'll push on. Let's do some match reaction for some Tuesday and Wednesday. One of the matches I looked at, which was crazy, was Wolves and Arsenal. Arsenal looked like they were in total control, and then all of a sudden imploded. Craig, what did you make of that one?
I thought Arsenal looked very comfortable, especially with their recent bit of kind of in and out kind of form. I thought Wolves looked very toothless still seeing how much they miss Jimenez, but as much they actually miss Jota as well. You know, that kind of link up. I think Willian Jose throwing him straight in and just expecting him to replace Jimenez in a new league is very difficult. And then, as you said rightfully, Niall, they absolutely imploded on themselves. The David Luiz decision was absolutely shocking. Wasn't even up for debate. He literally did nothing wrong. And then Leno, it just carried it on. And they literally just shot themselves in the foot. Great strike from Moutinho and a nice penalty. But that's what Wolves are kind of relying on at the moment. And they got him through that game. But over the longer distance, I would worry.
Kane, absolutely. What did you think, Kane?
Absolutely what Craig said there, Niall. Arsenal were very, very sharp, were very good. But Wolves, they were not great. They were okay in that game, but Arsenal did look great in that match the other night. They really did. They played very well. That formation was actually good as well. Wasn't too bad. They played very well.
The one thing I thought was really nice, it was nice to see Jimenez in the stand there watching. He looked pretty good as well. So
very good.
Great.
Take nothing away from Pepe's goal as well. Is absolutely outstanding. Might do him the world of good, you know.
Yeah, it was a harsh decision on David Luiz. All right.
It was terrible. Very harsh decision, man. Very harsh decision.
But I think if you're a referee and you know the history of this man, you know these decisions really make themselves. You know what I mean? Once you see him going in like that, you just know it's calamity.
It's not even a thought, isn't it? It's not even.
Yeah. It's just that's it. It really is. Nowadays, it's just bangers. You're gone, send off. That's it. It's just mad.
So then we move on to another crazy game. Manchester United versus Southampton, 9-0.
God.
And hats off to Southampton for keeping it below double figures, in fairness. You know, because this could have been a whole lot worse than what it was. I thought, again, you know, just the craziness of a young lad going in like that. And I mean, there's no doubt the decision was made when you look at McTominay's leg and all. He could have broke the guy's leg.
He could have broke his leg. Absolutely, no. Yeah, 100%. The way he went in, it was just very terrible tackle.
The one thing I always find weird about those games when a player gets sent off is the way, you know, some teams find a way to restructure themselves to stay in the game. And other teams just simply implode. You know, and this was Southampton absolutely imploding. Craig, what did you think?
I'm very surprised, Niall, and I fully agree again with the imploding. And like a Ralph Hasenhüttl side, recent, you would think that they would have enough about them to restructure, especially so early on in the game. You know, get their heads back down, sort it out. But taking away the 10-men part for a second, their man marking and defending was absolutely abysmal, I thought. And give Man United credit as well. Again, taking away the 10-men part, their passing and movement and their left-hand side as well, they look really deadly with Shaw and Greenwood. And the ball's in and the finishing was on point. But I thought Southampton's marking was absolutely abysmal. In general.
Absolutely terrible. It was very harsh. I couldn't believe it, Niall, when I seen when I seen Southampton out like that, like I just couldn't believe it really. Like 9-0, like that's just, it's very bad results, very very bad. Like coming on with the previous results, Southampton like they were playing not too bad, but like 9-0 is just not good enough. Simple as that. Really, it's not.
Yeah, it goes to show that, like, when United really want to play, that the ability is still there to turn it on and put them sort. Remember, United, they were coming off a couple of not so good results themselves, even, you know what I mean? And it's just the way they went about it. Like, if you look at United, even in that second half, they were just playing the ball around like a training session. It was like they were in Carrington having a training session. It could have been 12 or 13,
They got
to be honest, if they really wanted.
Got a taste of blood there, and they literally smelled it, and they literally went for it.
And it was fantastic for their goal difference as well, and especially in the hunt at the title at the top.
I think thank God that Scott McTominay's leg wasn't planted, because I think then it would have been a broken. They seen as how bad his leg was after. Like, thank God that it wasn't.
Like in the second half, I could just see like Southampton not even trying anymore. Like there was no pressing the back four. Like they were just passing around. It was just simple, so easy. Like they were just passing through the middle, up to the striker, finish, Martial and stuff like that. It was just so easy for him. Like so easy.
There was a lot of players on the pitch there just wanted to, they would have preferred not to even come back out at half time, to be honest, if they had the choice. So absolutely. Then we moved on to Wednesday, yesterday evening, and of course Burnley versus Man City, 2-0 to Man City. Professional job, such an amazing strong team when you think about it, the way they play. Like it, as I said just before the show, lads, it's hard to believe that City fans didn't want to come on and talk their team up. You know what I mean? It's crazy when you think about it. And they're missing De Bruyne and missing Aguero, and it's like these boys don't even exist at the club now. You know what I mean? These lads are just putting down a marker. That's 7 wins on the bounce now. You know what I mean? It's just an incredible run. And the funny thing about it is, I mean, when you look at the game, like the teams that they're beating, they're all still in the game, more or less. You know what I mean? Like you look at Burnley, they gave away a very soft goal after 3 minutes. But like they weren't out of the game until, you know what I mean? I think they got the second one just before half time or something like that. Yeah, you know what I mean? But even at 2-0, Burnley were still trying to play, and they were missing their two.
Trying to get the ball forward, and
Yeah, and they were missing their 2 key men as well. Woods and Barnes were missing, you know what I mean? And like they're big losses for them. They're really the guys that make Burnley happen,
It's just the Man City strike force now at the moment. They're non-stop. Like it's just unstoppable.
Yeah.
Their strike force, their midfield, it's just so strong at the moment. I just think like they're just in such a good form now, and it's going to be really hard to beat them. Like it's really going to be hard to knock them down and stuff like that, break them down and all. Because I just know like Pep Guardiola knows what he's doing, and he's just a great manager. Like,
yeah, you look at Diaz, he's been outstanding, and again we'll get on to the players later when we do the match preview for the Liverpool game. But it's just when you see that back four as well of Walker there, Diaz, Laporte, and all.
Cancelo even has come a long way,
and even your man Zinchenko and all. Like they're unbelievable. Like they're ruthless in defence. Really, they don't really give anything away.
Unbelievable.
Fulham getting beaten by Leicester 2-0, probably not unexpected. I mean, Fulham are, they're hovering around. They're trying to keep their head in there, really. But Leicester needed a bounce back as well after the Leeds game, in fairness, and the bounce back they did, Leeds-Everton. Leeds-Everton was a kind of a strange one because, Everton went ahead. Leeds kind of came back into it at 2-1, and then Leeds had a number of opportunities to pull it back to 2-2 and didn't take them. Bamford was outstanding in the match before, but in this match he was kind of like, he struggled a lot. Like he had a couple of opportunities.
Yeah.
What did you think of that, Craig?
Yeah, in recent matches you thought I thought it would have been a more high scoring game. I thought 2-1 didn't really flatter the kind of fixture that it was, and I thought everything kind of looked like they matched up with Leeds, and kind of like what Leeds did to Leicester, funny enough, and kind of with their own game. Yeah. And they nullified Leeds to an extent, but then I think Leeds kind of grew into it and had a number of chances. And Olsen, I think the goalkeeper, has done himself the world of good as well. I know Pickford is usually in goal, but I think Olsen was very over-reliant last night as well. And he probably got them the 3 points in the end. And Bamford, if Bamford was on it, he probably would have got an equaliser, maybe a 2-2. But Everton be delighted to bounce back away at Ellen Road.
Absolutely, 100%. They played well last night, and it's just very close now. In the top 6 now, the Premier League, very, very close. Like Everton are Everton are going to be fighting for top 4 now as well, and like it's just really hard to know like who's going to finish in top 4 this year. It's 6 or 7 teams, like it's mental.
It's going to be amazing. That top 4 race is going to be
Ah,
crazy this season.
It's going to be mental.
Because like
mental.
2 or 3, as we said on previous episodes, like you go on a run of 2 or 3 wins, and all of a sudden, bang, you're up in third or something like that. You know what I mean? It's crazy. West Ham again put a good result up against Villa there, 3-1. I expected that to be a lot closer. I expected Villa to try and bounce back, but they seem to be in a bit of a rut at the moment. Just things aren't firing for them. Then we come to the final game, which is Liverpool-Brighton. How much do we want to dwell on this? I've never seen Liverpool play as flat. Craig, what did you think?
Yeah, that was the word that came straight to my mind, Niall. Flat, lethargic, passive. Just didn't look like we wanted to really, I thought the tempo was good at the start of the game, and I thought we would kind of go on from there, but flat and just, all in front of Brighton, not really threatening, not looking creative, not looking, like any kind of anything about us, not looking like the last 2 games that we'd played. Brighton set up to frustrate us, and they rightfully did, and they actually looked good with themselves on the attack. Trossard was kind of causing problems and, winning free kicks, slowing the play down, slowing the pace down. But we were relying, if you look at the game back early on, Henderson was trying to play a through ball all the way through to Salah. And that was nearly coming closer than the build-up play that we had. Firmino getting that habit again of dropping deep, not really going anywhere.
It was just exactly what Craig said. Like, it was just very sloppy, very frustrating. Like, very sloppy goal, like, from defence. Like, very, very defending issues.
Shaqiri looked absolutely lost out on the left-hand side as well.
He did. Absolutely lost. He just did. Like, they really did frustrate us, and I think the Brighton manager just knew what he was doing, really, because he always stepped back. He always had his midfield back near the back 4. Just really frustrating game. Really was. Niall.
Yeah, when I looked at it, the couple of things I noticed again was that, like, there was a lot of this hit and hope stuff again. Yeah. A lot of balls going into the box, when we're up against a very solid defence and a couple of tall boys in there as well, which was really a very poor tactic. I thought Thiago was playing deep again instead of forward in the previous 2 games where we showed our attacking prowess. Salah, for some reason, looked tired again last night. I looked at Bobby Firmino. If you've seen that shot he took that ended up in the cup, like there was no intent on it at all. Like, it was just real hit and hope stuff. You know what I mean? And it was just. But the one thing I find about those games, and I don't know if you boys find it as well. It's not like we don't know what these teams are going to do. We know full well they're going to come and frustrate us. All these teams, them, West Brom,
the bottom
Fulham,
6,
Newcastle,
the bottom 6,
they all come and play the exact same way to frustrate the hell out of us, and yet we can't seem to wrap our head around like what we need to do. I even looked at Thiago last night. You know what I mean? And some of his passing, like, it was just.
It was.
It
wasn't like urgent.
Like,
urgent kind
like
of.
Our last goal in Anfield was back in the 27th of December. Like, it's just.
I think when you're playing like the bottom 6 teams, you need to have a plan B up your sleeve, and you need to kind of show them that you have something else about you. The 4-3-3 system is great for us because it's our system and it's worked on numerous occasions. At this moment in time, we don't have our best. This isn't an excuse, just an opinion. We don't have our best 11 to facilitate that, or we don't have a Jota who can come on. Jota won't stay still. He'll be, move right across. Things like that. But we just looked like we were kind of happy enough to play in front of them. And Milner over Curtis, I thought was a bit of a strange one. I would have played Curtis myself from the start, who likes to drive a bit forward, play a forward pass. We were relying on Henderson playing the forward pass from centre back at times last night. And
I thought Origi came on there last night. He just did nothing. Like, very, very.
He'll always be a cult hero from myself and obviously for yourselves. But beyond that. Like, you're playing for Liverpool. If you're on the bench and you sniff a chance, you think you'd be, hungry to take it, or we'd have something about us. But we just look like the lads like Ox and all who are coming on, and they're coming on for the sake of coming on at times. It's like, I'll go on, I don't mind, like, but it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Like, I think ahead of Sunday's game now, I don't know if Phillips will start on Sunday. I'm just not sure. Like, what do you reckon? I thought like that was a very scrappy goal last night.
It was a fluke. It was a fluky deflection, but to be fair to them, they kind of deserved it, didn't they? You know, they were creating clear-cut opportunities. You can't say like. Did you see when was it Maupay cut inside? Robertson cut inside Milner again. And it's like, why can't we have a bit of magic about us like that? Like,
exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I think for about 15 minutes you're saying in the game where it was all sort of Brighton, they were coming on and creating chances and pushing forward and stuff like that. And that gave them that sort of self-belief to think, look, there's something here for us.
And that was after the goal as well. They were coming out as well. Like,
yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
And you see, normally we're so good at cutting that out. Normally we would just cut that out, take care of possession, kill the game off in terms of their surge forward, if you like, and stuff like that, But I find unless our best 11 is out there against these teams, we find it very difficult to unhinge them. Like I was listening to a lot of Liverpool fans around to me last night saying, we have to have a plan B. But what they don't realise is we were missing 7 players last night. So we were actually playing our plan B and we don't have a plan C. And I mean, that's the problem. But it is still, it's very strange what's happening at Anfield at the moment, the home games. And that would be the one concern.
It's very, very strange because, like, the form, I just don't know it at the moment. Like, we were unbelievable playing at Anfield, as you said. Like, the record was nearly over 3 or 4 years unbeaten, and now we just can't score a goal in Anfield at the moment.
When we're going to Anfield now, it's merely just a location on the map, sadly, without the fans, isn't it? And Brighton, are we in the Amex or at Anfield? They don't care because there's nobody else around. You're playing the people on the pitch.
Yeah,
it shows how much and how we had teams beaten coming to Anfield before we even play games with the fans.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thing is, it's the same for all teams, you know what I mean? But as we said before on episodes, it does affect the bigger teams, I think, that bit more than the smaller teams. It's the smaller teams that gives them that more belief,
Absolutely.
But yeah, so then I suppose we'll push on then and let's dive into this preview, this huge game on Sunday. I don't think there's been, in argument's sake, I suppose, a bigger game in Klopp's reign in terms of, for me, I don't know about you boys.
Season though.
Yeah, to me, this is a title 6-pointer, title decider.
Yeah.
If we lose on Sunday, there's no way back from this. We really are just pushing for a top 4. I was hoping that hopefully that gap would be a little bit tighter as we go back into European football, and that maybe European football might have upset the cart a little bit. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. What was your thinking on it, Craig?
Yeah, I fully agree. I was kind of hoping that, obviously, on previous podcasts, we spoke about Brighton. We knew they were going to be difficult, but in my mindset, we were going into that game with 3 points, no disrespect to Brighton. And it was going to be, we're at the winning air mid-game as well, so let's have them on Sunday. It's completely different. They don't look like they're slowing down, and they're still in Europe. They can actually still on for the quadruple, and they're missing key players, but because of their squad depth and their squad quality, it has no impact on them absolutely whatsoever. I don't even know if they're in like full gear yet. As you said rightfully as well, they're like 1 or 2-0 up. Other teams are still in the game, but are the other teams still in the game, or are City just kind of taking their foot off the pedal? And now they can do that. Whereas when they had the likes of Otamendi and stuff, you'd always say, this could be a mistake in here. But what's his name? Diaz has looked like he's had to bring in like 2 signings in 1. He's been absolutely immense. He's coming into a league that he's never played in before, the hardest league. I didn't really know anything about him from Benfica, so he has that question mark with a price tag as well. But coming in, he's variable. He seems to settle everything around him. And John Stones, it's like he's kind of took him under his wing with him and said, like, you're my partner, getting him through games, getting the confidence. Even Cancelo, it's like an aura kind of around him. He doesn't even look like he's under threat. It kind of reminds me a bit of Virgil, he looks like he's not even under any sort of pressure in games.
Absolutely, like exactly what Craig said. Like, if we had won there last night, I would have tightened the gap a bit more, and there would have been definitely hope of catching City in the title race. But like, we just it's a bit massive game on Sunday. We just have to win, and that's just it. If we lose on Sunday, title race could be gone, Niall, and it's just really sad, really, because like Liverpool, like we're defending the Premier League title at the moment, and just catching them.
Anyone who can do it, though, we can do it. We know we can. If we can get Mane back in there, Fabinho back in there, Alisson back in there, and the lads, if anyone's going to give them a game on that day, we can do it. Like, you know, full 100%.
100%.
We know that. Like.
Yeah, you would kind of assume that the rest of the league would be a Liverpool fan on Sunday, you know what I mean? But it's just, it's mad the way the seasons have kind of flipped, isn't it? Like, they look like us last season,
Yeah.
where they're doing what we did exactly last season, building up a bit of a gap, having those games in hand.
I think there will be definitely goals in the game on Sunday, though. There will be definitely goals.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, absolutely.
Without, like.
Yeah. So looking at current form at the moment, you got Liverpool there with 2 wins, a draw, and 3 losses. And you've got City basically with 7 wins on the bounce, basically. You know what I mean? So there's no comparison there really in terms of form. I think in terms of position, I think what we do have to consider is, like, you know, we do have these injuries. You know, we are missing players, and I know people say, "Oh, but you know, if you're a big team, you can't crib on about these things." But, like, you know, the other night with 7 players missing. You know what I mean? It's not one. It's not 1 or 2. You know what I mean? It's 7
squad players. It's 7 key first 11. You know, like,
yeah. That's like, it's a lot of players. Like, you guys, it's mental, really. Like,
in theory, it's nearly your first name when you think about it.
It really is.
So then, when we look at the head-to-heads, really, the last 6 games, you've got, you know, 3 draws, 2 wins for City, and 1 win for Liverpool. So there's not a whole lot in it, really. The one thing I would stress again is, it's, you know, a lot of that time is when we've had our full team. You know what I mean? So you have to allow for that. But the interesting thing that I looked at the other day was the head-to-head at Anfield. And the last 6 games have been 4 wins for Liverpool and 2 draws. But again, I would stress, when we've had our full team. What you thinking on that, Craig?
I think what could play a big element on Sunday is, you know, when Man City are arriving at the stadium, we're all on Anfield Road, you know, giving it loads, making sure they're in an absolute drowning noise. Take it all away, you know, and especially like Brighton and Burnley previous, it's a neutral kind of level playing field, you know. They're coming into the stadium, not a blade of a fan, or no, you know, we're not up behind the lads and all. So I think that will play in City's favour a bit, and they'll be a bit more relaxed, obviously coming in and playing at Anfield like Brighton and Burnley previous, and because they're showing no signs of weakness without 2 of their key players. I still think, though, that we have enough about us to do the job, like Spurs, like West Ham, on our day, even with the players that we're missing. Like, they still know, and I'm sure Guardiola still knows, that there is a threat there, you know.
So I think so too. Exactly what Craig said. No, yeah, 100%. Like, you see last year there, like, the fans were behind in the bus when Man City came in on the bus. They were shouting, singing songs. They were, like, City looked a bit scared last year coming in, because you would really, like, Liverpool fans shouting and screaming. But this year it's gonna be a lot different. Like, really is.
Yeah,
like,
scary.
I do think we could pull the win on Sunday, though. Like, really do.
Yeah, the scary thing is, even with COVID, you know, that Man City bus could still get us some sort of a greet. You know, that would be my kind of my fear. You know what I mean? Because, you know, yourself with Liverpool fans, you know, that they'll die for their team and their club. You know what I mean?
Surely does, yeah.
We don't kind of want that to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so then,
absolutely.
I had a quick look then at players potentially missing. Obviously, with Liverpool, you've got Gomez, Van Dijk, Matip, Jota. Not sure about Milner, but could be missing, and not sure about Fabinho, and of course Alisson might be a doubt as well. So, you know, huge names for our team to be missing. But again, you know, if anyone's going to figure out what to do and how to get the best out of what he has, you know, Jurgen Klopp is the man to do that. Really, you know what I mean? But yeah, huge injuries, and again, it's about us, you know, trying to get that win and stay in touch. You know what I mean? To be trying to get some of these players back and get those 2 new boys bedded in as well. You know what I mean?
Like, I don't, like, it's a lot of people say the title race is over and stuff like that. I don't think it's over yet, lads. Like, I mean, if we win on Sunday, that'll bring down the gap maybe to, what was it, 4 or 5 points, maybe, I think.
I think Sunday is all or nothing, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday is do or die. It's a title decider, 6-pointer. Now, unless the likes of United or something can put it up to them, but
it's just a must-win, lads, isn't that right? You just have to win.
Have to find a way to win, and that's it. I think we already mentioned City missing Aguero potentially and De Bruyne. Haven't looked like they're missing them at all. And again, 2 huge players, like, you know what I mean, and yet it's like, you know, they just have the ability to march on and soldier on and get the job done. I had a look then at some of the key battles that potentially could be out there. I looked at Firmino obviously versus Diaz. Craig, what you thinking on that?
Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how Diaz deals with a front three, and a front three as efficient and as potent on their day as us. I'm interested to see if we can kind of pull him out, or will he be still vocal and, you know, structured really well. I noticed against Burnley, when they're on the ball, they go into a back three of himself, Laporte and Stones, with Cancelo will drive up. As soon as they lose the ball, they slot into a back four with Cancelo, Laporte in right back, left back. I imagine he'll do the same again, and he'll be fully aware of the threat that we possess. But I'm really interested to see how Diaz deals with the likes of Salah, Mane, Firmino. Firmino has to move. If he goes deep, I think Diaz will let him go deep and just be happy he's away, to be completely honest. If Klopp maybe tries to switch it up and have Mane or Salah inside to maybe try and run, you know, direct at him, it'd be nice to see how he deals with it. But I imagine it's going to be very interesting because he is a top player.
Yeah, really is, like, absolute top player. He really is. And I also think Thiago is really going to be up for this game on Sunday because he's a Spaniard and Guardiola is a Spaniard as well. And
I think
Thiago is going to be really up for this game on Sunday.
I think the problem with Burnley is when Burnley went on at City, they got their shape back in time, whereas we can't let them do that when we go, hopefully, on the break. You know, we can't let them regroup in time and slot that back four.
Yeah.
Whereas
Has to be much quicker.
West Ham, we have to be there sharp, as quick as anything.
Sharp, yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I looked at when I was looking at potential lineups was on that side where Trent is, you're going to have Zinchenko, which is a fantastic player potentially, and also Foden, who's been outstanding this season without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm just wondering, you know, with the way those boys play those overlaps and attack and stuff like that, I just wonder, is Trent going to have the mettle to deal with that? You know what I mean? Like, you know, Foden could easily turn him inside out if Trent's not really careful. You know what I mean?
It's a very big concern because with Trent coming so high, and they will obviously know that. So Zinchenko can easily get, as you said, Foden away. Will Trent give away a shoot a foul? Will Trent be caught in his heels? You know, he's not defensively amazing anyway. And that could lead to potential danger.
What do you think, Kane?
It's very worrying, like, it really is, because Trent is having a lot of ups and downs. I don't know at the moment. Like, the last few games, he has been playing well, but I don't know. Like, last night, he was a bit quiet and stuff. Like, they were very quiet last night, but I do think, like, Man City's attacking force on Sunday, it will be worrying for our back four anyway, because there's going to be a lot of direct pressure going on, and we just need to be on form, need to be on the top of our game, need to be concentrated, need to be fully focused going into the game. Because I think a lot of this social media and stuff, lads, is just, I don't know, like, there's a lot of impact, negative and stuff like that in social media with Liverpool at the moment, but just need to be fully focused.
Yeah. One of the matchups that I'm really relishing to see on Sunday is the Thiago Fernandinho matchup in the midfield.
Yes, that's going to be
I think that's going to be outstanding. I think that's going to be the key to the game. I really do, because I think if Fernandinho, you know, figures out that whole Thiago thing, well, then from a creative point of view, we're going to have a real problem. And I just think that's that nail biter matchup in midfield there that could really dictate the game. You know, what do you think?
There'll be a lot of tackles in that game, I think, Niall. The two of them now are very good players. Like Fernandinho, a very, very strong player. Good at his pass and everything really about him is really good. Two of them now are there's going to be a lot of tackles now, I think, on Sunday.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What are you thinking on that one, Craig?
Yeah, I think Fernandinho is going to be sent in there to do a job, and that's completely nullify Thiago from moving the ball any which way but backwards, to be completely honest, or sideways, as in close, which will really have to be careful with Ilkay Gundogan as well, who's been absolutely outstanding this season, getting into positions, being a threat, defensive work, you know, all round. And since David Silva has gone, again, I reiterate, they don't look any worse off. Like, as you rightfully said, Phil Foden has come in and replacing someone of that caliber, but he just looks like, you know, he's been playing years. Like, he's way ahead of his time. Gundogan advancing forward, Bernardo Silva advancing forward, And I'm guessing Fernandinho is just going to sit, like you said, right tight on Thiago from when we try and release the other way. Fernandinho is so good at reading where it's going to kind of come next. And I'd say he'll be sent in to do a job and nullify him, try and stay with him tight.
Absolutely, lads. And we just have to take our chances on Sunday. Like, we just can't be missing chances. Like, we just have to take our chances. Really do.
Kane, I was looking at a good matchup to throw at you here. I was looking at, because I know you love your boy Robertson. Robertson versus Kyle Walker. What you thinking of that?
Christ. I love Robbo. Like, Robbo, one of my favourite players. That is going to be really is going to be tight. Like, two of them clash a lot as well. Like, going on the right side, very same wing. Going to be a lot of tackles in that. Like, I think Robertson will get the better of him, though. Like, Robertson's very good at cutting in. He's very good at overlapping and stuff. So give the ball to Robbo and he'll pass it in. He'll cross it in. But them two are very linked. Like, they're very strong. But I just think Robertson will get the better of him.
Yeah, one matchup that I'm really intrigued about as well, and I think this is one that I found when I look at all the matchups. One that I think will really work in our favour. I think Nat Phillips will have the beating of Jesus. I think he's big and he's strong, and I think he'll have too much strength for Jesus. And that's one that I'm really looking for. This could be the one that really shows, you know, if Nat Phillips plays, this should be the one that really shows, you know, what that guy is about. You know, you have Jesus there, who's in pretty good form as well and is scoring a few goals. But I think Nat, with Nat's physical presence there, I know Jesus doesn't normally match up good to physical defenders, if you like. He tends to go missing in games like that, you know. So I'm really looking forward to that one if Nat plays, you know.
That's going to be very 100%, Niall. 100%,
yeah, I mean, you're looking at like 10 battles all over the pitch, really, when you think about
it's
it.
It's like chess nearly, isn't it? It's going to be like a little movement, you know.
Absolutely,
And you know, with Klopp and with Pep, you know, you're going to get a proper chess match. You know what I mean? These guys are going to figure out just small little tweaks and things.
It's going to be a proper ball game. Like, there's going to be no chat about this. It's going to be straight in from the word go. Like,
I'm just praying Sunday evening we're not talking about a 0-0 when we pump these matches up. You know.
I just saw
like an Arsenal United part 2.
Yeah.
I just hope by Sunday evening at 6:30 we have a few beers in our hands and we're celebrating.
and you're pumping out the tunes.
I'm pumping out the tunes in the shade below, yeah.
So I'm going to put Kane, I'm going to start with you, put you on the spot here. I want you to give me a score and scorer predictions.
A score prediction on Sunday.
Yeah.
The hard one, actually. Jesus. I think there's going to be goals there, lads. Really is. I think it's going to be 3-2 to Liverpool. I just have a feeling.
Who's getting the goals?
I think Salah will score on Sunday, and I'm going to go for Thiago. I'm going to go for Salah, Thiago, and Firmino. And for City, then I'm probably going to go for Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah.
And well, it's like probably Fernandinho, maybe. Fernandinho starting maybe a goal.
Interesting one coming from deep, maybe. Yeah. Craig, what are you thinking?
Yeah, great show from Keno. Great choice of goal scorers there. I'd say literally it could be anyone's play, couldn't it? Like on the pitch for goals. So it's a good show from Keno there to, you know, get people who, you know, it doesn't even matter if they're never really on the score sheet like Keno picked out with Fernandinho. We could literally pop up and bang one, like, you know, and it's that kind of game. I think because of City's, you know, rear guard now, whereas before, you know, with the likes of Otamendi, always had a bit of a, it's very hard to call, I think, with Diaz, as in we know how good they are and they're not conceding, but they haven't kind of faced someone like us, I don't think, on their day. So with saying that, I'm going to go 2-1 because I still think they're going to be very hard to break down and resolute, but I'll always put my team, you know, at the right side of the scoreline. I'm going to go Mane and I'm going to go Salah, and for them I'm going to go Bernardo Silva because I do think he finds those little kind of pockets and he can kind of pop up. Has a good range shot as well. But Keno was a great shout from Keno as well. What do you think, Niall, yourself?
I don't know. I'm going to be a little bit pessimistic. You know what I mean? Because normally when I go out there and I shout these 4-1s, we get put to the sword. You know, I'm thinking, and I hate to say this, it breaks my heart. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be 2-2.
Yeah.
And I think our ex-boy, I think, is going to be the one that breaks our heart, Raheem Sterling. I think he's going to get the
It
equaliser
could easily,
late in the game.
Oh, I think of him, lads. Oh, I
I just
don't like that player whatsoever. Don't like him at all.
I like him as a player. It's just the fact that he's an ex-player of ours. But I think
Yeah.
he's an excellent player. He's just,
He
that's
is,
the
yeah.
way it is. So I'm going to go 2-2. I hope we do it. I'm praying that we do it. But I've a funny feeling it's going to be a real struggle to mentally, the mental fatigue that's shown there at the moment. I seen those players walking off the pitch last night, and they look broken. They
Yeah.
look broken. You know what I mean? And I hope we get Alisson and Fabinho and whatever players we can get back in there, and I hope we just give them a good go and a good account of ourselves. You know what I mean? There's no sin in getting beaten if you give an account of yourself. Getting beaten last night is what really kills me, when you don't really give an account of yourself. That's what hurts more than if you just got beaten by a better team.
Yeah.
So
question to you and Keno, Niall, if that's all right. The both of you is there.
Yeah.
Do you think yesterday could have been an opportunity for Ben Davies to come in and let Henderson push up before the game, pre-game?
Yeah, I think it probably could have been. It probably would have been a big ask. You know what I mean? And the concern is if you bring a player like that in and he suddenly makes a mistake or something like that,
straight away, yeah.
You shatter him straight away right from the beginning. You'll have the fan base going in on him like nothing else, and it's just trying to pump that guy back up again. You know what I mean? Would be a struggle. I'm hoping on Sunday. The one thing that I'm stressing is I'm hoping those players, which is silly to say it, but they overlooked Brighton and said, we're just going to beat these. And they had one eye on City on Sunday. And I'm hoping that the players that Klopp kept out of the team, were kept out of the team, that it was a strategy to have them fresh for Sunday. That's the only thing I'm holding on to.
So sure, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I'm holding on. But look, as always, lads, brilliant having you on.
It's great having chatting to you, Niall. Thanks for having me.
We'll touch base probably again on Sunday evening when we do a couple of match reactions. As always, my Liverpool boys are on, win, lose or draw. City fans, where the hell are you boys? Come on. Give us some. You have everything to cheer. You have everything to cheer about and nothing to hide about. So till Sunday, boys. Thanks again.
Cheers.